Work.
Let's jam in a few more calls for Bob Chapman. I'm going to blitz through a huge stack of headlines I haven't gotten to. Then we have the lawyer who contacted us for the black man beat up by the Obama supporters on video. And the news didn't want to point that out. They wanted to say that Republicans were out causing problems. When it's people mad across the board, black, white, Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, we just are sick of the bankers and the corrupt political parties. Jim in Chicago. Another call from Chicago. Go ahead, Jim.
How you doing, Alex?
Good.
Hey, look, I got a little bit of problem. I've been listening to you for a long time. I really like you, Alex, but we got to lay off this union bash. Now, I've been a union member for 20 years, and I don't work for Acorn. Okay? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. This New World Order, I've been fighting them my whole life because this is nothing but global fascism.
Well, let me just stop you.
Members do. Okay.
Well, let me just stop you. I think it was Bob earlier talking about them attacking unions, and I talk about Rockefellers having the unions machine gunned. I was saying that more and more Obama is trying to take the unions over to use them as political weapons. Now they don't get jobs in factories. They get jobs being thugs for the government. I mean, we've always supported unions here. And so maybe I should be more specific and exact when I talk about this, but it is union people attacking the anti-socialist healthcare folks. I mean, Obama is selling the unions out on NAFTA and GATT, which he promised to get rid of. So if I came off as being anti-union, I'm sorry, but that's not what I meant.
That's why I like listening to you, but we get a bad feed from everybody. The mainstream media, which is controlled by these global bankers that have been attacking us for 30 years. As we've watched the decline of America, it's been because of the decline of unions.
Well, don't you? I mean, I have Tarpley on every week, and he just worships unions.
Yeah.
But he will tell you that the unions have been taken over.
Oh, trust me, I understand, but you got to understand there's public sector and private sector unions. The public sector have really taken over. I mean, like on TV when they make the jokes about union guys not being able to get fired. That's only your bureaucrats. Guys in construction unions like me, like the internet.
No, that's people in the government union. No, exactly. But Bob Chapman, you want to chime in on this?
The only thing I want to say is you're right, Alex, and he's right. My father was one of the original members of the Teamsters Union, and he was in the Teamsters Union for 30 years and retired on a pension, so you know where I'm coming from.
Brought America to the middle class, and global fascism's greatest threat is organized labor. That's why they've worked so hard for the last 30 years to destroy us. That's why they've been devaluing the dollar.
Yeah, and they have destroyed the unions, and so we have to be honest about what's happened to the unions if you ever want to have that bargaining power again. The robber barons said, hey, unions, compete with Chinese slave labor, compete with Mexican slave labor. And so now all that's left for the unions is to be thugs for the globalists as they mop up America. So I'm telling the unions, rebel against this.
Yeah, another thing that we need here that'll really help the unions in America is trade legislation for tariffs on goods and services. That is the key to bringing back manufacturing to the United States. And if we could get Congress to pass that, then all these companies that left would be forced to come back because there wouldn't be any advantage anymore because they'd be paying tariffs which would go into the federal coffers.
You're absolutely right, Bob. Well, listen, I appreciate your call, Jim. It's good to hear from you. Bob, I know you're a busy, busy creature. You want to do 5-6 more minutes on the other side and talk to Ben, Joe, and John?
Absolutely.
All right, final segment with Bob Chapman, with a lawyer for an anti-government health care person who was beat up by Obama brown shirts, who were arrested, by the way. That is coming up. But let's take a few final calls for Bob Chapman. Larry in Michigan, you're on the air with the head of the International Forecaster, Bob Chapman. Go ahead.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Al. How are you?
Good.
I'm a Prison Planet TV member, and I own like 5 of your videos. And I got to admit, the two of you are doing a great job. My dentist even knew about Bob Chapman, which shocked the heck out of me. Anyhow, I didn't get screened, and I wanted to ask if I had to keep them on point with money. And so that
we don't screen the phone calls unless we have a guest on say about the murder of Patton by the OSS, and then we just say, please call in about that topic. But no, you can talk about whatever you want, but go ahead, sir.
Absolutely. I did not get screened.
Okay, fine.
I have a question for you and then a comment from Bob. And the question to you, and this is going to go to 10 people that I work with that night. I'll be going back Monday.
Okay,
Originally, in the Youth Corps legislation, it was introduced out to everyone that it was going to be mandatory that people would have to serve in the Youth Corps, and it gave the ages from, junior high on up. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, there have been a bunch of different bills. We barely got it stripped out of the one, but it still let the language in about setting up a board to start national compulsory service. And my film, The Obama Deception, has all the clips of Obama and the White House Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, saying just that. And it's to be a domestic military force to crack heads of the American people.
Right, but it was introduced at first as mandatory, because I remember Jason Bermas in one of his... Yeah,
and they've reintroduced the bills.
This will take me a couple seconds. I know you're in a hurry here. But I had a really interesting conversation with one of my labor relations managers. It was back around 2005. And now give me a second. I'll tie it all together.
Well, sir, you keep saying that. It's fine. You're on air. You weren't screened.
Back in 1995, I was pulling an engine out of my daughter's car, and David Newman was a conservative talk show host in Detroit on WJR. He had a guest on there, and I never caught the name of the guest, but the guest was talking about the Clinton legacy. And hang on one second. The interesting thing that came out of it, which made my jaw drop, was that this guest said that they signed on to a UN legislation bill or some type of bill that was going to turn the United States, the mid North American continent, not the United States.
Yes, I got to let you go, okay, because I got to get to other callers, and that was 3 minutes. Yes, these are UNESCO treaties. These are UN treaties. It started under Clinton, AmeriCorps, Secure Corps. That's the city year, TV ads with kids in uniforms doing military drills. It's real. Bob Chapman.
It surely is, and it's the way you put it.
There you go, short and sweet. Ben in Minnesota, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you guys doing today?
Good.
Yeah, I got a question. Do you guys, in the healthcare bill, it says on one of the pages, 354, it says government will restrict enrollment of special needs individuals. What's your take on that?
I couldn't really understand you. You said restrict the needs of...
Either. Government will what?
Will restrict enrollment of special needs individuals.
Yeah, they are going to...
The enrollment of whom?
I understand what he's saying. I appreciate your call, Ben. Look, it's not our opinion. In England, in places where they have socialized health care, they give you an aspirin for a heart attack. It's in Time magazine that the doctors kill you in Europe when they decide, and that Time magazine says that's a good idea. I showed people that article 2 days ago. Daschle wrote a book. He was going to be the head of this, saying rationing is good. You can Google Tom Daschle quotes on rationing. And I have the breakdown of the bill and the bill here. And it is worse than Hillary Clinton's. And it is single payer. And it is socialism. Bob Chapman, your comments on the health care bill.
I think like you said, they'll give you an aspirin. And in Europe and in the United States as well, people are passing into to death that don't have to. The cost of continuing to keep them alive goes almost straight to the government. And so they're being told, look, if they're going to go, let them go. And people with chronic diseases, whether they're young or they're old, are not going to be treated. They're going to be allowed to die.